Hi, and welcome to this edition of A Noob's Guide for Noobs. Today I'm going to be explaining League of Legends. League is a fast-paced MOBA that involves smart decisions, map control, and destroying your opponent's nexus for that sweet victory. As a free online game, I'd suggest you play a little bit of the tutorial to get a quick idea of how the game works. I know that League can be a little overwhelming for new players with all of the options that it provides, between the choices of champions and items. Let's start someplace easy. Champions. Champions are divided into several roles: assassin, fighter, mage, marksman, support, and tank. However, as most people can tell you, this information is mostly irrelevant, as the game is generally broken down into the roles needed to be performed in order for your team to mesh well. They are more easily described by the lanes that they take up: ADC, support, mid, top, and jungle. ADC. The ADC, or attack damage carry, is generally a character with range attacks and mobility. They are characters that scale better with items and generally require help in the beginning of the game, but can deal massive amounts of damage and carry the team toward the end. By giving your ADC kills, assists, or even helping them farm for gold, you will be providing your team with a solid in-game boost. Support. Support is exactly what it sounds like. As a support, your job is not to get kills, but to heal, stun, assist, and even ward. As a support, your abilities would be mostly geared toward hampering your enemies and helping your allies. A well-placed ward, stun, or heal can and will win you the game. Mid. Mids are generally characters that need to level up quickly in order to make full use of the champion, as minions reach the middle of the map much faster than the top or the bottom. Any champion that needs to hit level 6 as soon as possible would make a great mid laner. However, that being said, some of the most often used champions in mid lane are those that benefit from ability power, or AP, since gaining access to their abilities will significantly increase their damage output. Top. Top lane is generally reserved for a fighter or melee champion, a character that either has a massive damage output, or that can sustain in battle for much longer than other champions. However, this position can easily be filled by any champion. Jungle. Most people will tell you that any character can be a good jungler. While they're not wrong, some characters are just better at it than others. The idea of the jungler is to increase the gold your team is getting while applying pressure on lanes when your team needs help. The more quick the champion, whether it's speed of clearing jungle camps or the ability to jump into a lane quickly, are the marks of a good jungle champion. Now that we have the roles of the game out of the way, let's get into the incredibly complicated world of items. All items start with gold. Last hitting any NPC on the map, whether that be jungle camps or lane minions, will award you with a small amount of gold. Also, being the player to last hit an enemy champion will award you with gold as well. However, unlike minions, as long as you do anything to help defeat the enemy champion, you will be awarded with gold, albeit less gold than if you were the killer. I cannot stress last hitting enough. If you last hit 12 minions in lane, it is essentially the same as killing an enemy champion. Beating your opponent in CS, or creep score, can greatly widen the power gap, allowing you to defeat your enemies much more quickly than if you had just ignored the minions. You can also earn global gold for your team by destroying the enemy towers, or by killing the dragon who is located in the southeast part of the map. Now that you have some gold in your pocket, you're ready to buy some items. You might say, "But Travis, there are hundreds of items to buy and I don't know which ones are good." Well, when you open the shop menu, by default the shop has recommended items. Until you're more familiar with the game, I would heavily suggest you start here, as these items are generally very good for the champion you're playing. However, that being said, the best items in the game are very expensive, being upwards of 3,000 gold. However, luckily for us, all of the big items build out of smaller ones. By clicking on an item in the shop, the game will show you all of the smaller items it takes in order to build it, and if you spend enough gold, you can turn that lowly pickaxe into an infinity edge. If you're having trouble with certain champions or team comps, you can and should tailor the items that you're building to the situation. Getting poked to death by the enemy? Perhaps some health or health regen might be a good idea. There is even an item to negate the first hit you take every 45 seconds. If you're not doing enough damage to that tank, maybe buy some items to deal a percentage of enemy health. That damn champion healing like crazy? Buy an item with grievous wounds. But in case you're still lost, I'll show you a few tricks in the shop interface. You can select the All Items tab and find the exact item you're looking for. It even has convenient filters. If you accidentally bought an item from the shop, the game won't punish you. You can quickly undo recent shop purchases by clicking the Undo button located right next to your inventory. However, be warned that if you leave the platform, take damage, or affect the game in any way, you cannot undo the item purchase. You will have to sell the item back to the shop and lose a bit of your hard-earned gold in the process. This has been a Noob's Guide for Noobs. Keep on the lookout for more guides related to League of Legends and other games in the future. Anything I didn't cover? Want more detailed information on the materials covered? Feel free to drop me a comment and I'll try to include it in future videos.